Phantom Liberty is a very morally complex DLC, so naturally it has more than one ending, 4 to be more exact. So today we'll be talking about each one in particular, so enough chit chat, let's get to it. The point in the story that will mainly decide which ending you will get is when you have to choose between helping Songbird escape or helping Reed get her in Hanson Stadium. Each of these choices has two possible endings, but firstly let's understand why you have to make this choice. In the story, you find out that Songbird was used by the president of the US to go beyond the Black Wall, which is a barrier created by NetWatch to stop rogue AIs from reaching the net. Because Somi did go beyond the Black Wall, she got the power to use these AIs as basically weapons of mass destruction, but the power of these AIs is also slowly killing her. Songbird also tried to kill the president, so Myers, the president of the NUSA, wants to capture her so that no one knows she forced Somi to get the power of the Black Wall because other countries are gonna be furious, plus Somi did try to kill her, so yeah. And this is Reed's mission, to capture Songbird and stop her from leaking sensitive information. But one important thing is that Reed cares deeply for Somi. He feels responsible for her because he is the one that recruited her into the FIA, so in a way, it's his fault she became half cyborg and was used by Myers. On the other hand, why would you want to help Somi? Well, firstly, she promised that she will get a cure for the relic in our head, and because all her life she was used for her powers, she is just like V. Her life is on a timer because of the effects of the Black Wall. So she is just like us, trying to find a way to survive and escape her life as a tool for anyone who has her. So the game wants us to resonate with her. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the endings, starting with Somi's side. But before that, I would like to ask you to subscribe and leave a like because it helps me a lot. Thank you. So you take the AI that seemingly has the power to kill the both of you from the Matrix and escape the stadium. Alex also kills Hanson. After a few days she will call you and tell you that she found a way to cure yourselves, but you need to go to the moon because that's where the clinic is. So you make your way to the spaceport in Night City and face off against the president's forces. On your way to the rocket, while there are just the two of you on a train, she tells you that she lied about curing us because the AI can only be used once. Now you get the choice to continue to help her or leave her for Reed. If you choose the first option, you make your way to the rocket and come face to face with Reed. Again, you have the choice to betray Somi, but still if you don't do it, you are forced to kill Reed and Somi gets to the moon. But now comes this question again. Why help her after all the lies she has told you? Well, firstly, she is in a much worse condition than V, plus V has another chance to find a cure because this DLC happens before the ending of the main game. But a more important reason would be because you are probably the only person in the world that can truly understand her. She is in the same position as V, slowly dying. All her life she did bad things for other people's gains, and now in her most dire moment, she's been betrayed by everyone else. Yes, Reed cares about her, but if he takes her, we are explicitly told that she will go on trial for treason and spend all the time she has left in prison. So why not save her? Johnny tells us that she sees her as a victim of the system he fought so hard to oppose, and he is pretty clear that he wants us to help her and take our chance with Mikoshi. But again, helping her is not the right or wrong choice because she did do horrible things in her life, so ultimately the game puts us in the position of deciding if someone deserves a second chance or not. That is the first ending of Songbird's path. The second requires you to give her up to Reed in your face-off at the spaceport. You will then make a deal. You give her up and you get the cure instead of her. He agrees and sets up your surgery. Before your ride to the hospital arrives, you and Johnny have one final conversation in which he tells V that if he continues along this path, he will be deleted forever. He doesn't beg for his life because, as he puts it, he has his honor, but instead he leaves this choice to us. If V continues, he gets the surgery and he wakes up. The problem is he wakes up after 2 years in 2079. The surgery was a success, he lost Johnny, but that came at a great cost. Firstly, he will never be physically the same as he was before, because his brain now rejects most implants, so his life as a merc is pretty much over. The second price he had to pay is far greater. He lost everyone. While in the hospital, you get the objective to call your friends and reconnect with them, but when you talk to them, you realize that they moved on from you. Judy left Night City and now is happily married. Kerry doesn't have time for you because he's on tour, and Pan Am doesn't even respond anymore. The only one who seemingly wants to reconnect is Victor. So you go back to Night City, but you find an even more broken city. Victor had to sell his clinic, Misty closed her shop, and V is now easily overpowered by some random street thugs. V has one last conversation with Misty that is on her way out of Night City, and she tells him one thing that is pretty much the theme of this ending, that he must become just a face in the crowd. No more gigs, no more excitement, he has to say goodbye to the life he had before. This has to be the most heartbreaking ending out of all of them, because yes, V did find a cure, but at what cost? He betrayed Somi for it, Johnny even calls us her Judah, he has a fallout with Johnny, our last words to each other were insults, he loses his body, but most importantly he loses his friends. Those words, you have to become a face in the crowd, really stuck with me because I can't imagine V just living a normal life. I can't imagine V without Johnny. Yes, he was slowly killing him, but V still had a shot to save himself without losing so much. But at the same time, can we really judge him for taking the safe route to save himself? We can't. This is why this ending is so good. Depressing, yes, but amazing nonetheless. It's also fitting that after this ending you can't continue playing, you are forced to reload a save, and this amplifies the idea that the life V knew since he was small is over. But still, he doesn't seem sad when he becomes no one, he has a smile on his face, so maybe this life without violence will suit him, it's all in our imagination now. These are the two endings you get from Somi's path, now let's talk about Reed's path. If you choose to help him at the Matrix instead of giving Somi the access codes, you instead give her an icebreaker which is supposed to knock her out. Instead, she realizes this and alerts Hanson, who kills Alex, and she accesses the power of the black wall that sends her into a blind rage. She begins to kill everything in her path, including almost V, and she becomes a cyber psycho. After you break her out from a mech tech transport, you follow her to a facility that was used by Netwatch to set up the black wall, so it might have the power to use the AI from Hanson to cure Somi. In this facility we can truly see how Somi was broken by the black wall, because the AIs from beyond start possessing her and she tries to kill us. But it's not exactly her that is trying to kill us, it's those AIs, because through the threats she makes we can also hear her true self telling us to run, and she even helps us escape a killing robot the AIs unleashed on us. So even after we betrayed her, she still cares about us because we are still maybe the only ones that can truly understand her. In this facility she also shows us glimpses of her past. We see how she was recruited using blackmail, how she was turned into part cyborg, how she plotted with Hanson, but the most meaningful memory is with her and Reed just talking. Reed promises he will always take care of her and will always try to help her, so in his way, that's what he thinks he's doing by bringing her into custody. We also get one final conversation with her, in which again she tells us that all she is trying to do is not to be a tool anymore. She is aware of the bad she did, and that played a part in her attempt to kill Myers. We make our way to her, and we see she is connected directly into the black wall. Here we have to choose one of two choices. Because Reed is on his way, she knows that when he gets here, he will take her back to Myers, and she will be used as a tool again. So she asks us to kill her, so that she won't be used again. Ultimately the choice is ours, and here the ending split, but if you decide to honor her choice and kill her, when Reed gets there, we can see clearly on his face that he is heartbroken, and that he blames us. The game then cuts to black, and when we resume we are with Reed driving out of Night City to deliver Somi's body to Myers. Now we can talk to Reed, and even though he blames us for her death, he is more mad at himself for not being there instead of us. We explain to him that this was her choice, she just preferred death over being used again, but he is too broken to understand. We meet with Myers and deliver Somi's body, and when we ask her about the cure she promised us, she tells us that we would have gotten the cure only if we delivered Somi alive. This ending is brutal, and even though Somi is dead and we didn't get the cure, it doesn't feel like it's a bad outcome. Yes, sure, she is dead, but we know for a fact that this was better for her than returning to her previous life, and us not getting the cure, well, after what we've just been through, doesn't feel like it matters anymore. After the credits we get one final conversation with Reed, and he tells us that even though he still blames us and himself for Somi's death, he begins to understand how things seemed from her perspective. He even considers quitting the FIA himself, asking us for advice. Ultimately what he will do is up to him, but it would probably be better if he also tried to leave this life behind him. That is the first outcome of Reed's path. To get the second one, we have to spare Somi in the Matrix. And this ending puts more emphasis on the fact that Somi will be a slave if we let her live, and that she will never be able to escape Myers because she is too important to her. In this ending, Myers takes Somi, and because she is alive, she gives us the cure she promised. In a conversation we have with Reed at the first place we meet, we can see that even though he knows Myers will never let Songbird go, he still thinks that this is the best outcome for her. And this pretty much shows Reed's main trait, which is blind loyalty. The FIA outcast him again, yet he just seems to accept his fate. After this we get the surgery, and everything happens like in the ending we already discussed. V loses everything, but in order to live, sometimes you have to die first. These are all the endings. Hope this video was interesting for you. Tell me what you think about Phantom Liberty in the comments, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.